Welcome to Holly and Martin Do Road Safety. We are Suffolk County Council's road safety officers, and we're here to hopefully provide you with some useful advice for life on the road. Good morning, Martin.
Morning, Holly.
Today we are joined by Travel Plan Officer Sophie May. Morning, Sophie.
Morning, Holly. Morning, Martin.
Hi, Sophie.
So, Sophie, as I said, you work as a Travel Plan Officer. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, sure, Holly. So I promote sustainable transport through travel planning and monitoring. This is accomplished by working with schools, housing developers, and businesses in Suffolk to achieve successful travel plans. And that's either coming through the travel planning process or voluntary. Second part of what I do is I write and design travel packs for residential sites. And this informs new residents of sustainable travel modes that are available to them in their local area.
Yeah.
And recently, my team and I have launched the new website, the Way To Go Suffolk, and Twitter page, which is our main platform to promote sustainable travel. Pre-COVID, I also ran the Suffolk car share scheme, which hopefully in due course will be back up and running as well.
So lots of different people you work with then, a really wide audience.
Yep, lots of different stakeholders, different groups of people. Just makes for a really interesting week, day to day.
Yeah, Sophie, the terms sustainable travel, active travel appear a lot in the press at the moment, but I have a feeling a lot of people don't really understand why it's so important. Can you tell me why it is so important?
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, if you take a look at the government's gear change document, it states that physical inactivity costs the NHS up to 1 billion per year. There's further indirect costs as well, calculated at 8.2 billion. And if you want to look at the well-being side, it shows that 20 minutes of exercise per day cuts the risk of developing depression by 31%.
Wow, so really staggering figures there, really.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to look at the local businesses, there's up to a 40% increase in shopping footfall by well-planned improvements in the walking environment as well.
Yeah.
And the other element of what we do is air quality as well. So if you want to touch on that side and the environmental side, if we want to meet the targets to double cycling and increase walking, that would lead to savings of 567 million annually just from air quality alone. The sort of figures look at preventing 8,300 premature deaths each year and provide opportunities to improve green spaces and biodiversity. So it really is important for me and my team and what we do to promote active and sustainable travel modes.
Thanks, Sophie. I understand, Little Bird tells me, you've got a new website on the way. Is it called The Way To Go Suffolk? Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, our new website combines our old local links project, which covered all areas of sustainable travel. And then we had the separate brand of Suffolk Spokes, which just focused on cycling alone. So what we did was we decided to bring both elements together to create a joined up, streamlined approach to the promotion of sustainable travel in Suffolk. We wanted to create a long-lasting brand that fulfills all elements of sustainable travel. So from cycling, walking, public transport, car sharing, information on electric vehicles, so that there's just one hub that brings everything together in one place. And the other part of our website is bringing travel plans together as well. So you can access those on our website. So we'll have information and advice on travel plans for schools, housing developers and businesses.
Sounds like a really good website, especially because you can find everything in one place, trying to make it as easy for people to get involved as possible. That sounds great.
Yeah, exactly. So the website is www.thewaytogosuffolk@suffolk.gov.uk and our Twitter page is at TWTG Suffolk. And if you'd like to email us with any feedback, we'd really appreciate that. And our email address is thewaytogosuffolk@suffolk.gov.uk.
For those of you who are listening along, I'll put all those details in the descriptions box as well. So if you want to know where they are at the end, you can have a look down there. So Sophie, what are the best ways of nudging those people who like their inactive modes of travel into kind of sustainable travel and being a bit more environmentally friendly?
Yeah, so it is really challenging. And personally, like all the years I've been doing this, we find that providing people with helpful web links and information where they can go and see the options that they have for themselves is the most effective.
Right.
Um, People we've worked with often aren't aware of the other options that are available to them. So, for example, pre-COVID, I promoted the Suffolk car share scheme, which a lot of people weren't aware of, which is good for rural areas where there's limited public transport or there aren't any good walking or cycling routes as well, and also where to find our walking and cycling maps. Some people weren't aware that they were even available to use and download and print themselves, and also the Suffolk on Board's journey planner. So you can put in where you live and where you want to travel to, and it'll bring up all the options that are available to you.
Yeah, I think my final question, Sophie, and you've touched on this already, is about targets and how we'd like to get there. Just to give you, well, it's important to me. This morning I visited a school where a huge number of children walking with their parents, but Holly and I visited a school yesterday where very few were. What kind of targets, how would you like to see the future? Where should we be?
So the aims and objectives from the cycling and walking investment strategy, which is set by the government, have laid out targets to us to be achieved by 2025. And the aim for us is to double cycling and increase walking activity. We also want to increase the percentage of children that usually walk to school. So the longer term objective or the ambition by the government is to make cycling and walking the natural first choice for short journeys or as part of a longer journey by 2040. So it really is a long term plan that we have that we're working towards to achieve.
Yeah, I definitely think if more people hear the figures that you mentioned earlier about the impact it has on your health, I definitely think that will change people's mindsets. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And we try to tweet this information out and links
Yeah.
to provide people on our Twitter page and as well as our quarterly newsletter as well. And if you'd like to subscribe to that, you can do that via our website as well. And when we get back to doing events, we'll try and put this information into marketing materials and take that out with us as well. So
Yeah.
we really do try to get the information out there to as wide a range of people as possible.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sophie.
Thank you for having me.
Really valuable information there. Well, that's all we got time for. So thank you for listening. Like I say, I'll put all the information in the description box and I'll put some timestamps down in there as well. So if there's a particular question you'd like to go back to, you can do that more easily. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.